On a brand new business. In today's video, I'm going to give you the framework, the exact steps you need in order to get that on a brand new business, even if you don't have revenue. All right, guys, welcome to my channel where we talk about leveraging credit to create cash flow. We talk about business and we talk about finance. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So 150,000 on a brand new business. I'm going to give you the framework. So here's what you need to keep in mind. It all starts with a personal credit report. They're going to look at that from the get-go. So I don't want you to be it all starts with a personal credit report, an optimized personal credit report. And the reason is because there's only three ways to get funding: cash flow, collateral, credit. Cash flow, collateral, credit. I'm going to engrave that in your mind so you can understand. There's no such thing as no PG funding. So when you hear that, you need to run away. Can you get no PG funding? I'm going to give you some right now. Sam's Club. Yes, you can get a credit card with no personal guarantee, a business credit card with no personal guarantee. You can get something like a Capital on Tap, which is a charge card. You can get those kind of fintech company credit cards. But ultimately, 99% of the time, you're going to have to PG, which means personally guarantee. So you need to focus on having a good optimized personal credit report. What does that look like? Number one, you need to have 10 primary accounts, because that shows, and a mix of primary accounts, because that shows the bank that you're able to manage debt and still make payments on time over a long period of time. And fun fact, the more accounts you have, the better. Why? Because you need to have a minimum of 21 accounts to get a perfect credit score of 850. So when you hear people say you don't need that many accounts, they don't know what they're talking about. And then as far as the credit cards, you want tier one banks. Tier one's bank. You don't want a Stace. You don't want a Macy's. You don't want store cards, any of that. You want high tier cards, a Chase, American Express, Bank of America, Discover, Amex. You want those kinds of credit cards because they're tier one. They're like a Bentley compared to a Honda. So yes, you can have a credit card that has the same limit, but a tier one bank is going to override a lower tier bank because it's just viewed differently to the underwriter. So you want to avoid fintech companies. You want to avoid something like a Capital One credit card because they're trash. They give out low limits. They pull all three bureaus on the personal and the business. And on the business, they report the utilization on the business to the personal. So you want to avoid those. You don't want any store cards at all. No Best Buy, none of those. You want to apply for Chase. You want to apply for Bank of America. You want Wells Fargo. You want a big bank. You want Discover. And you need high limits. So how do you get those high limits? This is a question I get a lot. If you want me to make an in-depth video, let me know in the comments. Put high limits, high limit funding in the comments, and I'll make a more detailed version of that. But you should want, before you apply for business funding, you should want a minimum of 10K on the personal side before you apply for business funding, because banks like to compare credit, right? And I know this from personal experience. It's not because I heard it on YouTube or I heard it online and I just believed it. It's because I ask the questions and I get the answers that I want the questions. I get the answers to the questions I ask because I want to understand. So when I applied for a Chase credit card, they saw that I had a $40,000 credit card with Bank of America. They saw that. They literally told me, "Is that Bank of America credit card with $40,000 limit? Is that still active?" Yes. Okay, we'll give you 18,000. That was with Chase. Now, once I use that Chase card, I can keep using it, paying it off. They're gonna give me a higher limit naturally because they saw that I can manage a 40, even though I didn't use that $40,000 personal credit card much. They still saw that and they compared it. They didn't want to start me off with a high limit if they didn't have anything, if I didn't have anything to show that I can manage that high of a limit. So that's why you need comparable credit. And in order to get high limit credit cards, you need to have good credit. You need to start building your accounts. Navy Federal does give out high limits. You could go with those. Some credit unions, you can start with those. But I'll make a video in depth if I get enough comments in the comment section. I'll make a video in depth to get high limit credit cards on the personal side. But again, you need just comparable credit. Then you want low inquiries. And the reason is because you want to not appear thirsty to the lenders, especially in today's climate, because they want to lend to people who actually don't need the money. say that again. They like to lend to people who actually don't need the money. So you want to appear like you don't need the money, and they will give you the money. Obviously, this is pretty common stuff. Low risk. You don't want real estate in your name. You want to keep it general. A low risk industry would be like consulting and marketing. Those are great for funding. So if you want to just look up the NISC code, you can look that up. That's great for funding. No derogatories, no late payments, no charge-offs, no collections. This is basic stuff, right? But again, you want to have comparable credit on the personal side and on the business side. Now, I would start with Chase. Chase right now is the best bank, in my opinion, because they have the best rewards, right? They don't have like they have the best rewards, travel or any rewards in general. And on the business side, 50, 75, $100,000 line of credit limit just from one card, just from one business, just from one LLC. You can get their threshold across all businesses is $150,000, but you can get a $75,000 business credit card at 0% interest. Okay, you can get two business 0% interest credit cards from Chase, 75,000 each. That's $150,000. Two different businesses. That's a real bag right there. So they give out the highest limits right now. Then I would go with something like American Express because they have the 0% interest credit cards. Their limits are generally good. They're not as high as Chase right now. So, but they offer their benefits are great. Their travel, their rewards, they're great. So I would go with them. Then I would go with something like a regional bank, like a Truist or a PNC. Truist right now, you can get a business credit card, 20, 25,000, and a business line of credit if your business is aged, and you can leave that bank with like $75,000, all at 0% interest. Well, from the business credit cards, not the business line of credit. So I would go with them, or in a PNC as well. You can get a business line of credit up to 50,000, no docs. These are all no docs credit cards and business lines of credit. So up to 50,000, no doc. You can go from PNC. You can go with Truist and Chase right now on a business credit card. You can get. I've seen it up to 75,000 on a business credit card, 0% interest. Now those you would have to have. You're not going to get that, applying online. You would have to actually go in the bank, speak to a bank manager, a relationship manager, and try to get the application approved for the highest limit. But they do have no doc programs with they ask for no docs with that type of credit card. Another thing that you can do is Bank of America. They offer some good cards, and again, the thing with Bank of America, you can reallocate the limits, so you can get, even if you get a low limit and you have a previous business credit card, you can move that limit to that new credit card, and you can actually move it from the personal to the business, but you can't from the business to the personal. So that's another gem right there. And same thing with Chase, you can move a personal credit card limit to the business side, but you can't do it reverse. So you can move a personal Chase credit limit to a business side, a business credit card, but you can't do it from a business to a personal. And then same thing with the businesses. You can move it across all businesses to merge it into one. So that's great. That's how you get those high limits. So you want really high limits on the business side. I would start with Chase, number one. 100%. That is the top of the list, and it's not even close. I would start with Chase right now. Great rewards, great limits. I would start with them. Then I would do American Express because if you already have a relationship with them, it would be a soft pull. Then I would do something like Truist or PNC. Business credit cards are 0%, and they got business lines of credit. If your LLC is aged, no doc up to 50,000. You can leave that bank with like 75,000 each bank. So Truist, you can leave with like 75,000 or 60,000, no docs, and PNC 50,000, no docs, business line of credit, and a business credit card up to 25,000, no docs. So you can leave with like 75,000 from Truist, 75,000 from PNC. That's 150. You can leave with a Chase Bank of America business credit card up to 75,000, no docs, but you have to do that in the branch. Or even if you get 50,000 on the business card with Chase, that's still 50,000 from one business, one LLC. You can get another business and apply for that same card within that 30-day time frame. You can't do it. You can't apply to more credit cards after that 30 days. You'll flat out get denied. But Chase is good, so I would start Chase, American Express, Truist, PNC, and then put Bank of America at the bottom. They don't give as high limits as like a Chase and they can be a little bit stingy with their underwriting a little bit, but they do have great products. I'd have them, but I would do that. Guys, let me know in the comments if I'm dropping some gems. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification. That way you get notified whenever I post a new video. Also, smash that like button, smash that like button. That's my time. My name's Toby Rosario. Peace.